Yeah, Tom making a deep run of that tournament. Some other players at Grand Prix Providence last week and giving this a run. I know Brad Nelson did not have a successful tournament with that deck. He actually wrote about it this week on the premium side of Star City Games. But we'll see where this deck doesn't line up as Kurth and Fortner are in game number 3. Fortner going to start off here with a Temple of Plenty. You saw Kurth start off with a Flooded Strand. We'll see where Phillip wants to put this card. He'll put it on top. Kurth will sacrifice the Flooded Strand, go down to 19. Fortner, one of the members of our Best of SCG Live moments.
Yeah, one of the best of SCG Live, and in the pretty robust category of hilarious things happening to Chris Van Meter against a red aggressive strategy.
Yeah, that's kind of a, we should start just kind of that row on our YouTube
That's
page.
a library onto its own.
Indeed. CVM getting annihilated by someone playing a red deck in hilarious fashion. CVM is here this weekend. Dragons in tow. I know last weekend he played Green-Red Devotion, but he said, I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Yep.
I'm playing my Dragon deck. I'm out here from Kurth and a passing the turn back to Fortner. We got a Forest. We got a Sylvan Caryatid. Pass the turn back over to Fortner. Does he have white mana? Well, looks like Kurth does have the white mana. He'll play that. Is it time for a Mantis Rider? It appears that it is. In for 3 in the air. Good start here for Kurth. We go back Fortner's way.
And Mantis Rider feels like a card that's poised for a bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, so far. Certainly went away for a while.
Flyers are at a premium, and red removal is a little bit better in the face of all this mana acceleration. And I think that Jeskai Aggro, it's been off the radar for a while, but I think it's poised to make a bit of a comeback here.
Jeskai decks are just kind of hard to build.
They are. So many good threats to choose from. I always felt like the deck had a little bit too much going on at 3 mana, and you can't really fix that very easily, but this build with Ojutai's Command is lowering the curve with Stratus Dancer and Soulfire Grandmaster. A little more 2s. Not that you want to be playing Stratus Dancer face up all the time, but at least it's something to lower the curve.
There's a Master of the Unseen there for Fortner. Does have an Elvish Mystic cast as well, so he will deploy that. Pass the turn back over to Kurth.
Pretty slow turn in the face of a Mantis Rider.
Indeed. Anytime you're a Mantis Rider player and you get your 3 points of damage in and your Mantis Rider doesn't die the next turn, you're feeling pretty good.
Didn't die this turn and against Bant. I mean, that's not a deck with flush with removal, you know?
Yeah. I think that most Jeskai Aggro players look at Mantis Rider as, you know, kind of like a lightning bolt, and then, you know, it'll probably die. But if it gets in 6, 9 points of damage, it's hard to lose.
Yep, it trades. You anticipate you're going to get in for 3, and then it's going to trade with a spell and some mana.
Yeah.
That's pretty good value for the deck. But this is the dream where it just keeps on going.
Now Fortner's down to 14. We'll play a Plains. Does have a copy of Prophet of Krufix in hand, one of my favorites. Card that has not gotten enough play, I think, but it's a hard card to build around.
Also, probably at its worst against a deck like Jeskai Aggro with red removal and Disdainful Stroke post-board.
But it is powerful if it gets going.
Oh, yeah. If you played against this thing in Limited, you have an understanding that when this card's unchecked, it's really hard to play Magic against.
Yeah.
Construction is a slightly different case, though.
Fortner's just going to pass the turn back.
Attention player.
He'll be trying to go the Mastery route. Kurth's turn's pretty simple. Draw a card, attack with Mantis Rider. Here's a Master of the Unseen activation. The Manifest is another copy of Mastery.
Now, Phillip can still overpower the setup if he just happens to Mastery into the right cards. He gains a lot of life, especially if he can find something that blocks or trades with the Mantis Rider somehow. I believe the first Mastery missed. I think it just
it was just a Mastery of the Unseen. That's what the Manifest is right now.
But Phillip has to act now. I mean, you know, he's taking these shots in the air, playing against mana with 4 mana up. If he passes the turn, he may not get to untap.
Yeah.
So he's got to do something impactful this turn. In the face of all the mana last turn, I like him saying, all right, I'll just activate Mastery and hope that I find a creature and go from there, but he doesn't have that kind of luxury anymore.
And here's a Deathness Raptor. We'll see if this resolves. See Kurth taking a look at his hand. Does have a copy of Anger of the Gods, also Lightning Strike too. Does look a little strange. The Anger of the Gods feels a little out of place here, but, you know, he gets in his chip shots, then casts Anger. He's fine, I think, with that exchange. There's another copy of Elvish Mystic. That's also going to resolve. Let's see what's next here for Fortner, if anything. Because he does have Dromoka's Command in hand, and that does obviously a fantastic job against Anger of the Gods.
Yeah, I think that card's definitely on Lloyd's radar right now, and he's just figuring out. Lloyd also has Anger of the Gods in his hand too, so if he ever feels like things are getting a little sticky on the board, he can just blow up everything and go from there.
Here's Ochitai's Command. Yeah, the problem with the Anger route is the Dromoka's Command that's in Fortner's hand.
Yeah.
It'll just prevent all the damage from it.
What I like about Lloyd tapping out right now is he's saying to Phillip, if you got Dromoka's Command, this is not a bad spot to cast it.
Sure. He is enticing this behavior. And, I mean, that's good and bad because now Deathness Raptor becomes a 4/4. So Anger of the Gods isn't going to clean that out. It'll clean everything else out, which is nice, but we'll see. Take a draw step.
The problem is that Lloyd's at risk of getting overwhelmed on the board there. I don't think he has the luxury of just untapping, attacking again, and saying go. So it doesn't look great, but I feel like his hand was a little bit forced there.
A little surprised to see the turn just get passed back here.
Probably just sitting on Ochitai's Command.
Perhaps. Scry from Temple playing. Top card going to go to the bottom.
And also, from Lloyd's perspective, what's that Anger of the Gods really worth? It's worth a manifest creature that's probably nothing because you would have seen it get unmorphed, and a bunch of mana when Phillip's working with plenty of mana. So he just may want to wait a little bit longer.
There's Profit. That's the last card there for Fortner. That Trigger, I think, is going to be on the stack. We'll see if Profit even resolves. All right, it will not.
No, we're going to see a Cryptic Command on that thing.
Yeah. Counter and draw. Couple temples here in Kurth's hand, Temple of Epiphany and Triumph. Now it looks like it might be time for the old Anger. Now Lightning Strike will take care of the Deathness Raptor. That's a good way to clean it all up. You get to play a Temple too. And if you're Lloyd, your opponent has no cards, and yes, they have a Mastery of the Unseen, and that's certainly annoying. That was the draw for Fortner this turn too. But I think if you are Lloyd, you are thrilled with how this game's going.
I don't know. It depends what the leftovers are, but that Mastery left unchecked is bad news, and Lloyd can only position himself as the control deck for so long here.
Well, here's a Dig Through Time, it appears.
All right, well, that's good.
Yeah, pretty happy about that. Get to take a look at the top 7 and take 2. Remember, Kurth, the former Open Series champion in this room last year. Shardless Sultai helped him get the job done in Legacy.
But if I'm Lloyd right now, I am really in the market for Goblin Rabble Master, Mantis Rider, even Stratus Dancer. I don't think Lloyd wants to play another 7 or 8 turns here.
Well, when your opponent has Mastery, I wouldn't want to play that many turns either. Yeah. It's just a little bit scary, even though Mastery will take up most of Fortner's turn, given the 4-mana activation. Do want to just try to get this game over with.
Yep. I mean, Mastery is slow, but it's faster than nothing, and right now Lloyd's got nothing going on.
Kurth's going to take a long look at the cards here from Dig Through Time before settling in. Now he's happy. Elspeth amongst those cards. That's a nice one to find. There's the Temple of Triumph. Take a look at the top card. We'll take a look at the hand before deciding where that top card's going to go.
And I think Lloyd took Elspeth plus a land. That is land number 8, which allows him next turn to set up Elspeth with Disdainful Stroke and Valorous Stance left over.
Some solid protection for the Planeswalker.
Yeah. I mean, you don't like taking land number 8 there when you've got plenty of mana to work with, but Lloyd's got a very specific plan in mind.
Looks like that card's going to the bottom now. He'll pass the turn back. 4 mana at the ready. Can represent many things here. Ochitai's Command, Stoke the Flames, what have you. For Fortner, looks like he picked up a land for the turn and still has a Master of the Unseen. Multiple copies of that card, not where you really want to be. The land is a copy of Nykthos.
Classic Nykthos 3-color deck.
Do you approve? Well, that's a good thing to flip over.
Now Valorous Stance gets to do something.
It sure does. Well, see you later, Whisperwood Elemental. Now Kurth in the driver's seat.
Yes.
Because there's not even a manifest from Master of the Unseen coming.
Right. That was the turn he needed to set up. And now he's got Elspeth with protection. Should be good to go.
There's your 6 mana. Here is Elspeth, Such Champion. 3 soldiers will be joining the party in just a moment here. And he's got that 2 mana available for the Disdainful Stroke. Life is pretty good here for Mr. Kurth. Fortner will draw a card. Didn't get a great look at it. Looks like it's actually a copy of Whisperwood Elemental. That's the kind of card that could catch him up in most situations, but that Disdainful Stroke right now in Kurth's hand makes it that it's actually not that good of a draw.
And you're seeing the issue with Mastery of the Unseen when you're not generating a boatload of mana. Most of the time that we've seen in the decks, it's in green Nykthos strategies where you're working with pretty close to unlimited mana.
Yeah.
And Mastery is incredible in those kind of decks. When you're playing it kind of fair mode, it is not very fast.
And that's exactly what we're doing right now. I mean, we think of Green-White Devotion from Grand Prix Miami, where it was certainly unfair mode in those decks.
Yeah.
Almost impossible to keep up with how much it was doing and how much life it was gaining. But now this is a decidedly fair card and can be overpowered by Elspeth. Kurth will take a look at the top card here from the Temple. He'll leave that card on top. There's a Rabble Master. We'll get a Goblin token here. It'll be time to come into the red zone. He'll block the Goblin token. 3 damage will come across. Fortner looks like he's going to fall down to 9. 3 soldier tokens and a passing of the turn. We'll go back Fortner's way. We'll take a draw step here. Looks like an Arbor Colossus is what he's found.
And all these high mana threats basically come at the expense of activating Master of the Unseen and play right into the spells that are in Lloyd's hand. And simply using Master of the Unseen right now is not powerful enough for Lloyd to beat the Rabble Master and especially Elspeth. He's kind of jammed up now in 2 directions.
Just doesn't have enough mana to do both.
Yeah.
And Elspeth, well, that doesn't require any mana. Makes things very easy, to say the least.
Now, Master of the Unseen in non-Nykthos decks can be still powerful against like Esper Dragons. Decks that are playing a really slow, really removal-based game.
For sure.
Lloyd's got a little bit of that going on, but he's also attacking and Mastery's and has, you know, more spot removal and all that kind of stuff. And Mastery's just not quite as good against that style of deck as it is against the Espers and Blue Blacks of the world.
Now, Fortner's going to take a long look at things. The question now is, do I want to actually cast one of these really powerful spells in Whisper Elemental or Arbor Colossus, or do I just want to keep activating Mastery and maybe hope to find some creatures off of this to unmorph and gain double the life?
I almost feel like he has to cast the Whisperwood Elemental because there's no other plan here. I mean, Mastery's going to get overpowered so fast.
Well, there's a Mastery activation, which is a Whisperwood Elemental. That's your face-down card there. So Manifest number 2 is a real card. Manifest number 1 is not. We head back Kurth's way. He'll untap those 6 soldier tokens. Got a Goblin Rabble Master out there as well. Valor Stance still in hand. See a copy of Stoke the Flames over there too. See how Kurth wants to use these spells. He'll start by just making a Goblin. Get in here with all the tokens. Will hang tough with the Rabble Master. 5 damage will come across. Looks like Fortner's going to go down to 4. 3 more soldiers here from Elspeth. Elspeth looking to go ultimate next turn. And Fortner will begin to untap for his turn. I like the patience here from Kurth not casting the Stoke the Flames because something could unmorph. He doesn't really need to make a move.
Exactly.
He really gets the opportunity to dictate the pace of this game.
Phillip will try to gain life or unmorph something, and then with the triggers on the stack, you can stoke then, and Phillip needs to unmorph 2 things or have another spell. And
yep. No rush.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario is you untap, go ultimate with Elspeth and attack for 1 million, so it's not like you're giving up very much.
Yep. Fortner going to do a little bit of math here, see if there's any way to get himself out of this situation, but I don't think there is. He's got to be able to take care of all these tokens first and foremost. Goblin Rabblemaster too, providing a token. And of course, Elspeth wanting to go ultimate. Just does not seem likely that he can handle all of that, and the Stoke the Flames, in case you forgot about that too.
Yeah. I don't think he can beat the board, and Lloyd's got a lot more than the board going on right now.
Indeed he does. I guess we've also kind of forgotten about that Disdainful Stroke too.
Yeah. Lloyd's leftovers are, I think all three are cards that Phillip can't individually beat, and he's got three of them.
Yeah. Well, we might see some attacks here, so those won't amount to much. Gonna go after Elspeth. See, Kurth's gonna reach for 2 soldiers right away. So Kurth not gonna fall for that trick. You see Fortner's hand. His draw for the turn was a copy of Den Protector. That's a little late to the party too.
Just another really slow card and a handful of really slow cards.
Yeah. If Elspeth wouldn't have shown up this game, maybe Fortner could have grinded him down the way he's trying to, but Elspeth changes really how the game has to be played.
And that was my point about Lloyd needing to speed the game up and starting to attack.
Yep.
Given enough time, Phillip's got plenty of power.
There's Whisperwood Elemental. Yep, Disdainful Stroke that. Fast to turn back. We're going to see Kurth untap, take another draw step here, and finish this one off probably with that Elspeth ultimate. You'll get a token there from the Rabblemaster. Everybody's going to come on in here, and that's going to get the job done. Lloyd Kurth's going to win this match here over Phillip Fortner. 2-1. Jeskai Aggro will take care of Bant mid-range. Jeskai Aggro starting to pick up a little bit in popularity over the past couple of weeks, and Kurth is off to a good start with it.
Definitely a deck that's in response to the devotion strategies. Bandit's Rider very powerful. Another card that's pretty nice against the